Welcome back to another episode of True Talk with the Thorpes. I'm your host, Adrian, and next to me we have...
is the better host, Tara, his wife,
host.
the better one. Welcome to a new episode this week. We're just staying consistent, aren't we? I mean, we missed last week. Don't ignore that. It's fine.
Technical difficulties, man.
No, it really wasn't. I was tired. But basically, we have a new episode and we have two special guests, people that are dear to our heart, that we call family, that have helped us move from doing pranks to real life content.
Yeah.
They're about that business.
They've got us in our bag. Like, literally.
Mad. We have Jess and Nick from SEASON25, the management company, the best management company out there. Fight me if you disagree. Fight me if you disagree. So we have Jess and Nick. Jess is actually the managing director.
That's the one.
CEO.
Yeah.
Boss
CEO,
lady.
boss lady.
Everything of SEASON25. And we have Nick.
Who's Nick?
We
Head of everything.
And we have Nick.
Nick.
We have Nick is
Nick is head of everything else.
Nick
is head of
a
everything
boss.
else. He is managing me. we work across everything together.
Yeah,
it's a dream team.
100%.
So a lot of people have messaged us asking us who we are managed by. If we are managed, like it's definitely in the bio.
Definitely,
so you could have checked it. It says SEASON25. But this is them. So we thought we'd bring them on the podcast so you guys could hear their story, how SEASON25 started, how it is working together, the growth of Meet the Thorpes and SEASON25. And I think this is going to be a dope episode.
100% is.
Yeah.
Let's start with Jess.
Yeah, am I introducing?
Yeah.
Okay. Where to start? I'm Jess. It's crazy because we're actually in the SEASON25 studio, so I spend a lot of time in here, but I don't sit on the podcast. So yeah, I'm Jess, founder of SEASON25. I have always worked in talent management. It's been my career. That's all I've ever known, really. Tell a lie. I've worked in McDonald's. I've worked in Build-A-Bear Factory. I've worked in Curry's PC World. Been around. And then, when I moved to London, I started working in talent management at Gleam Futures, which was the first kind of digital creator YouTube management company. And we used to manage the likes of Zoella, who was one of the first British YouTubers to hit 1 million subscribers. And then obviously that was like to 2 to 3 to 10 to 11. And obviously that whole kind of YouTube OG crew. So you had your Pointless blog, Jim Chapman, Tanya Burr. It was very fun. It was really great. I learned a lot. I love the founder of the business. He was very hands-on, very involved. And then I moved to an influencer marketing platform and helped set up a different kind of talent arm, still with creators, but kind of a bit more niche, a lot more variety of different kind of content creators. And then I set up SEASON25 in June 2020, and we focus on supporting Black creators. Over the kind of period of the jobs that I've just gone through, it was just so distinct, the lack of diverse faces on all of those rosters and in the office and in the meetings like we were having with brands, with agencies. And I think to solve the like root problem of like great creators, entertainers, diverse creators, getting in the rooms to have these conversations to win great brand campaigns has to start from the people at the other side who are speaking on their behalf, negotiating on their behalf, setting up those meetings. So yeah, I did it on a whim, I guess. It was lockdown, and here we are. Yeah.
4 years later, nearly 4 years.
Nearly 4 years, 4 years in June, yeah.
Wow.
Fast, man.
I know.
Really
My God.
fast.
Literally this morning, I was like, is it April? It feels like February.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And Nick, tell us a bit about you.
Mental.
I actually call him a ninja, by the way.
Nobody knows a lot about Nick.
No one, he's a ninja.
He's going to keep this. I've babbled on. He'll keep it so short and sweet.
As close as I got to a podcast before was like the voice behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And even then, I got messages. Is that you? I was like, don't do that.
No.
Yeah, stay away from that. So yeah, Nick, part of the management team, part of the support team for SEASON25. My journey's a bit different. I really started in sales, doing door-to-door sales. That my journey was just about making money. I didn't care about anything else. And also my mum said that if you're going to be in the house, you have to have a job. So that was the only thing that run. She looked at me one time, came into the room and said, "Nah, brethren,
You need
Get
something. You need
Get
a
out.
job.
you need to run it." So yeah, I did door-to-door sales for about 5 years, and there was something about being able to influence people into something that I didn't even know I wanted to do at the time. That was an amazing thing. And it was also at the root of it, which is also the root of content creation, I would say, is communication, storytelling. And it was always about how you could do that with multiple people. And I was doing it on one-on-one. Doing it at scale to me was crazy. So so I started my journey doing sales. I did that for the best part of 10 to 15 years of my career. And I kind of stumbled across content creators when I worked for a company called Kitely. There were a few companies before them, but they shan't be named. And yeah, Kitely was like a one-stop shop for all things print on demand. And the focus of that business was really about how we can monetize social media content and then turn it into like a physical product. That for me was like, there's so much opportunity in that. And then there was people that had audiences that they wanted to do that for. So I was on the other end of the creator economics and the creative economy. It was really about how we monetize the audiences that you guys painstakingly kind of invest in creating. So I was always interested in understanding how we can take somebody from the step of, oh, you creating content, to actually now we can service you in a way that is adding value to your life, that you want to spend money on it. And that's actually how I first reached out to Jess as well. I wanted to work with the
so funny. It was like I think when we were going through the interview stage, which we'll go through this funny story actually. I'd searched Nick Shepherd to get the chain up, and then I'd seen an email that I'd ignored. Not ignored, but like obviously I like
too good at sales.
I don't know what it was
sell
about that
myself.
one email, but from when Nick started working, he was like, I have actually reached out to you before. That was when he was at Push.
Yeah, that's when I was Push. So I moved from Kitely, and then the business did really well. We grew from a team of 5 to a team of 50. The business then later sold to Canon. Everybody did well off that. Then I became the head of creative partnerships for a company called Push Entertainment, which was like the main focus about building brands around a lot of global artists and musicians. And I thought that was going to be like a way to really set the trend of what this creative economy could look like, because musicians are really influential, but there was a lot of stakeholders involved, because you're talking with music labels, record labels, type of stuff. So when I was moving away from that, my focus was about how I can make real impact and real change. I did a lot of research about who's in the scene, and the reality is that Jess was the only person I wanted to work alongside and for, and supporting her journey and her and the creator's journey. So that's been what I feel as my life commitment. So every time I say, me and Jess speak about all the time, like the way that she puts her heart into the business
100%.
allows me to do what I do best, which is about supporting her. So that's just my main function, is support something.
Wow.
By the way, I was looking for someone entry level.
Yeah.
I was like assistant role, like the first hire of the business, like it was like really like overwhelming. Also, loads of people applied. It was lockdown. People obviously changing what they want to do. And then I look at Nick's CV. I was like, I think this guy's obviously applied by mistake. And he was like, no, I knew what I was doing. So we had like a Zoom call. We chatted for a while on and off, and we met in person. And I was like, are you sure? Like this is a completely different, role to what we were looking for. And obviously, now we're here, obviously 3 years later. I think it's 3 years. Yeah,
The
3 years
literal
in
dream
April.
team.
Was it 3 years in June?
No, I actually think it was
May.
it's soon. Like maybe even now.
It might be
We're gonna have to
today,
go look
on this
upstairs
day.
and be
You
like,
know
oh
what
no.
we need to do? Because we've been talking about going to Zeng, right?
Yeah.
We need to go out to Zeng
Yeah.
to celebrate.
We should do
Sponsor us,
that.
Sponsor us. We
Zeng,
should do
you
it.
lot speak about Zeng.
all
Every
the time.
I can't
Every
even
month.
tell you. This is the truth.
100%.
Yeah.
Every week they come here, they film.
Yeah.
They come sit in the office, they speak about Zeng.
Absolutely.
It's like
Can we do
without
the part
fail.
before that? Kind of like Tara looks into space and says, I want Zeng. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
You're
It's
always
Zeng.
thinking
There's
about
nothing
Zeng.
else. It's Zeng.
Do you know
It's
what I mean?
Zeng for me.
So that's our celebration
That's our
dinner,
celebration.
maybe. We should
Let's
do
do
that.
it. Put it in the
it's
calendar.
official.
100%. So, Jess, when you started season 25, firstly, how did you come up with the name season 25?
Do you know how many? Lots of people ask me that question actually, so let's go into it. It was, so obviously I decided I'm going to set up a business. I'd obviously got talent clients that were coming with me as well, so I knew this is a real thing, so I want to launch with a name. But it took ages to think about, like, what do we stand for? We did loads of family brainstorm. Mum, dad, sister were like, what means new, evolve, changing? So we had like a list of words, and then obviously you've got to go through Companies House and start checking like who's used what. There was Mum said season, actually, and I put it on. I was like, season talent management. I don't know. I don't love it. Yeah. But I was like, I'll keep it there. And I think I had 4 words on this list. And it was like this rule of 3 thing. You know, when like something's speaking to you. Yeah. When we launched, it was just after the big resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement. Yep. So obviously, lots of Black content creators are creating really emotive content and just speaking a lot about the matter, and especially in the creator economy. So I remember watching a video of Patricia Bright, and she was basically talking about how Black people bring the extra season into life. She's like, you can't deny it. I was like, that's true. Can't argue with that. And then I think the next day I was making like scrambled eggs. So I go in the cupboard, get the Duns River all-purpose seasoning. Yeah. I was like, seasoning, Black community. And then, so I was like, season's the word, but I didn't know what to kind of give. So I was 25, and basically it was like that was it. I'm 25. Yeah, it's gonna be season 25. Yeah, it was like that Refinery 29 kind of, like that. That was like the in the kind of news source for women at that point. So
I'm really interested though, not less about the name, but more about the action behind it, because the reality is that you come from a talent management background. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of people that you worked alongside with. A lot of them had decided to stay in place, which is like working for another company. Yeah. Action, like, that's why I feel like there's difference between people that are talkers, doers, right? Yeah. How did you get to that dude 100%. To be like, yeah, man, this has to run? Because one thing coming up with the name is another thing to now.
To be fair, the name was like the last thing on the list. Yeah. I felt forced into it. So I was like, right, I need to get moving now. I've already had my notice in, like, I'm ready to get going. I'll be honest, I think, firstly, I'm an impulsive person. Anyone who knows me knows, like, I don't keep one train of thought for that long. Fine. So it's like, if it's here now, let's do it. Obviously, a lot of nervousness behind that as well. But I think, I'll be honest, I think, like, the work from home thing, I'd never worked from home. I just didn't exist to me. Yeah. So this whole, like, COVID's happened, we're at home. And the reason that I left my previous role was because I really, there are a lot of different things. I think a lot of these newer talent management companies, influencer marketing firms have been born out of the fact that they see this as a revenue driving opportunity. They're like money, creators, influencers, money. And I don't agree with that, firstly, especially as a management company. You're there for the long-term goal, in my opinion. It's all about developing careers.
Which they've always said to us.
We've always said that.
Always, and like, from the get-go.
We said, like, we don't work overnight miracles. Yep. We don't say, like, oh, let's see how we're going in a year. It's 100%. Like, this is what we see for you in 3 years, in 5 years. Absolutely. And I think one of the things that I didn't like about the business I was working with at that point was the only driver was revenue. And, you're trying to have these conversations, but you're in a junior position and you're like, I understand what you're saying. And of course the business needs to make money. Yeah. Fine. But there are other factors that play a part in, okay, we're not making money from this action, but in the long term, it's going to really benefit the talent, which benefits us. And when you've got that lack of, understanding, or you don't see eye to eye, there's not much more you can achieve in that role. And it didn't feel fair to be bringing on talent when I wasn't able to manage them in the way that I feel to be the right way. Right. So that was one reason for leaving. And then unfortunately I actually don't think that business handled the aftermath of the Black Lives Matter movement very well internally. I'd made it very intentional to go out and source creators that I desperately wanted to work with that were also making sure that we're actually being like a diverse roster of talent, which I hadn't in my previous role because I didn't have the kind of I wasn't senior enough to do that. Right. So I was working with Melissa's Wardrobe, the Cabs family, Dr. Adana, Onyi Moore, so people that we still work with to this day because I saw such like longevity and value in them. Yeah. And the business from like the hires that filtered down into the everyday, just, there was a lack of empathy, care, value from, this is a really tough time, and how do we support these creators? How do we support you, your family? So it was an easy-ish decision in that moment to leave. And I kind of think that sitting in your own kitchen with your mum and dad going, you can do it. You've got the knowledge.
Well,
You're
you were
kind of
24,
like
25 at the time. So to me, that's what's wild. Like, we've been here for 4 years.
Yeah.
But the reality is that that inception thought was at such a young age.
100%.
Do you know, I think also the other thing in my head was, obviously you don't start a business with this in mind, but I was like, because I am this young, if it doesn't work out, I've got a good CV.
Yeah.
Never that I wanted to think in that way, but kind of thinking like, I will give myself a timeline if things don't feel to be working out or it's not going as I envisage it will.
Yeah.
I've got time to still build a career elsewhere or with a different business.
I often think about how I was thinking at 25, and then it was the same thing at 18. I want to make money. I want to make money. Like that was the fundamental thing. I was like, okay, what job can I make the most X amount from, the most successful thing? And I think from going through all my jobs and going through my career, the reason to work with Jess was fundamentally also at the point of me having my son. So it's like
your priorities changed.
Right, it completely changed. Reality is when I was younger, I was selfish. Like, still a bit of selfish now. Don't clip that. But the reality is that when you start living for something else that is higher than you, and you have like this unconditional like attraction and love for it, you then feel like, how can I love this thing so much and then operate a different way in my in my private life? It had to be aligned. So when I was it kind of like for me, everything kind of happened at the right time.
Yeah,
yours happened a lot sooner, so it's always interesting to hear.
But to even jump on what you said, so obviously you started 3 years ago?
Yeah.
So season 25 would have been 1.
It was just
Around
under. It was
1.
like just before that. Yeah.
So to come alongside someone, so this is Jess's baby.
Yeah.
But essentially at that time, this isn't your baby.
No.
You're not invested in it. Was you not scared to like be like, okay, I'm gonna join forces and I don't know how this is gonna turn out?
No. The one reason is because I was blessed enough to work with other startups.
Fine.
And I always have started to work for people versus just the business itself, right? So in my first ever startup position, it came straight after. Basically, you would work at the EE. You do the rites of passage. If you were in sales, you did door to door. You worked at a phone shop.
100%.
Don't tell me that.
Same. I went to the EE.
You did,
one part in your career.
I've done EE too. I get it.
Oh yeah, you did it. Yeah.
Thanks for you. All of them.
I'll phone for you.
All of them.
All of them. All of them. Sorry.
All of them.
All of them. Phones for you. EE02.
And I worked at Curry's Car Phone Warehouse. We had a car phone warehouse in the
there we
Curry's.
go.
Yeah.
I couldn't get a job there.
I don't know how you got the job at Phones for you, to be fair. I actually don't know.
I never
but-
sold phones though.
No,
That was not my
honestly.
thing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like I just like the reason why I worked at Phones for You because I had the highest commission structure.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course.
Dodgy
Of
is.
course.
Of course, Nick went to phones for you.
100%.
Do you know
what it was? With Phones for You, sorry to go off it, but Phones for You, they'd be like, okay, you sell a contract, you can give them £400 cash back. Don't give them the cash though. Give them, say, hold on. I'm giving this SIM only to you.
Trust me.
For the year, it's free.
Yeah.
It's not free because we're taking that £100 back. We're going to give that £100
100%.
to you, take all of this, and they leave and they're like, I've got all these phone bills. Yeah, you took out a contract.
It's
gonna
honestly, it happens so fast.
Honestly.
You have no idea what's
No
going
idea.
on. I used to work in a shop. I got sold a phone, free car phone warehouse. Still, I was like, this doesn't appear to be a good contract.
100%.
What's going on here?
100%.
I'm going to apologise to the public, to every single person that I did multiple credit checks and declined.
100%.
Your thing is probably still written off to this day.
100.
But I'm going to let you know.
All of you are to blame.
Phones for You, it was like, I want a contract on T-Mobile back then.
Yeah.
Or no, T-Mobile
Oh, yeah,
declined you. We're going to try
T-Mobile.
Vodafone. We're going to try Orange. We're going to try...
Three.
Okay.
I'm gonna try
without-
three.
We're gonna try...
Yeah.
These
Wait,
lot don't even know
Orange
you're
was the
doing
last, innit? 'Cause you know they were
multiple
Orange was
checks.
the last.
But it's SIM only. There. If
100%.
O2 Vodafone was premium,
Yeah.
you get mad commission.
100%.
Yeah.
And if you got Orange and you got the SIM only, we'd be like, look, just take the SIM only, and in 3
now,
months,
3 months,
and
come
3
back,
months,
come
come
back.
back.
Yeah, why? James. Why is everyone?
I don't know.
No, it's
You
wild. It's wild.
lot.
We have changed.
Yeah, we have.
Okay, we
Terrible,
needed
man.
to eat then. We
Yeah,
needed
that's
to eat.
true.
We needed
I
to
thought it was
eat.
alright.
A job is a job. A job is a
I
job.
thought it was
100%. It's come down for management.
100%. That's what the CEO said. That's what the boss
Yeah,
said.
head office said, yeah,
It's,
give them 10
it's actually giving pyramid scheme.
100%.
Now you
100%.
now you like hear that.
100%.
is.
It's wild.
That's crazy.
Remember there was one time we wanted to give somebody a different contract on another network.
Yeah.
So, but they were like, no, I want to stay on the same one. I was like, this is what you do, yeah? we're going to transfer your number to a pay-as-you-go number and then
100%.
come back. So
I've done it.
cancelled the contract.
I've done it.
Yeah, we cancelled the contract.
Yep.
Gave her a new contract on the same one at
Yep.
a later date, just because it gave us an extra £5, £10
100%.
commission. It was insane.
100%.
Literally work in the system.
Work in the system.
I admire it.
Mad.
Yeah.
Business minded.
Mad. Sorry, you were saying something. Oh gosh, I've lost it.
But actually, what you were saying before that was, were you coming to a startup?
Yeah.
Bearing in mind it was me, one person as
Yeah,
well.
it's just one person.
And I actually feel like I must have asked Nick this 1,000 times. I was like, are you certain? Like,
Yeah.
are you sure? Because this is still new. You know, there's being honest to him as well. Like, I was like, there's not really any process right now. It's going to be like a learning curve. Also, you've not specifically like worked in talent management
100%,
yet.
it's completely
Yeah.
different.
I very much like trusted Nick, trust his ability. Like he had more, I would say, more knowledge than me in so many different areas. But from the get go, even the first conversation, he's like, "I'm confident this is the right move." Like he was very much like, you know, very chill about it.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time.
What was it though?
There's a number of things,
Fine.
but the root is Jess.
Fine.
Yeah, like if you're gonna get up every single day, you have to love where you're at. You also have to love and respect the person that you're working alongside.
Absolutely.
And that motivation doesn't come if every single time you're questioning leadership or you're
agreed.
questioning that
Yeah.
person's moral standpoint.
Yeah.
And at the root, she cared about what she was doing. And I think that the reason why I was interested in working alongside Jess, before I even knew her, was just like her presence online. Yeah, like I've told Jess this the other day, so I'm allowed to. When we were doing the interview process, when I was doing the interview process, I basically went through her followers and then found out the last set of creators that she followed and then said, these are people that we should work
Nick,
with.
that
And
is so you.
I couldn't believe
That
it.
is so Nick.
and she was like, oh, this person will actually speak to
I
us.
was like,
really?
oh my god, they just emailed me.
So Nick. That is so Nick.
It was.
It worked.
But
It worked,
But the
yeah.
And
reality,
also,
Exactly.
like, it's been great.
Yeah.
We're,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
still working
Oh,
with those
genius.
people.
but the reality is, well, those creators I also did want to work with and also have previously tried to work with on the other side of the business when I was trying to build brands with them. So like even when like the Greers, for instance, right?
Yeah, they weren't like new to you.
Yeah, they were new. They weren't new to me, and I've actually made some designs for their e-com business through a third party. So that there was like an agency in between us that said that, oh, we're working with the Greers. Can you make us some stuff? And then we made it for them. They passed it on, and I was like, then they showed us. I was like, those are the designs that I made. So it's like there was
It's
so
It was like
many-
a full circle.
moment.
Yeah, for sure.
100%, and it happened. It's happened a lot. So yeah, but I think the decision was rooted on a number of things: where I was at in my life,
Yeah.
the experience I've had in working with different workforces, and I also have had the pleasure of working with some brilliant CEOs over the last 10 years. Some that have been successful in the ventures, others that haven't, but ones that you get to learn a lot from. And yeah, I think me moving from where I was to where I wanted to be was essentially I wanted to have an impact on what I was doing, and it felt like it was the right time, right company, and the right person to do it.
So even in this, I'm like 25 years old. I'm starting a new business in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is quite wild.
Was it scary? Because I know that part in itself is scary, but you're like, okay, I'm going to do it. I've got a plan. If it doesn't work out, I can kind of bounce back. But you took on your first member of staff. What was your thoughts? Was you...
I feel like that was scarier than setting up the business.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I just like, it was like turmoil in my head. Like, I think obviously you come to learn over time that not every hire is the right hire. You kind of have to become less like emotional with it as a business grows. I don't.
Yeah.
So like I'm still involved. But I think it was for me also at that moment, like we didn't have an office yet. So I had to, not in order to make the business work actually, but it kind of fell at a good time. I was leaving my flat in Dalston, and instead of getting a new one straight away, I thought I'll go stay with my parents for a bit because this lockdown wasn't going anywhere.
Of course.
So I'm like, I've got no overheads.
Yeah.
They were like, I mean, I paid for food, but like, I was like, if I'd have to do like 6 months living here, I know I can make it work. So I kind of gave myself that amount of time. So that wasn't as scary as it could have been.
Yeah.
There was, it was low risk, let's say.
Yeah.
And then with Nick, it was like, part of me felt like responsible. Like, what if he hates it? And what if like I feel like I've wasted, you know, this guy's valuable time? And after a year, he's like, I'm disappointed. I've not liked working here, and you persuaded me to join the business, and actually, it's not what I expected it to be. But I think after a few months of working together, those kind of apprehensions completely disappeared.
Yeah, we need to get in the office. Like
We had to get in the office together. We had to start working physically together. So the working online, I'm a control freak. I was literally like, "Oh, can I just see that email before you send it?
I
Do you
can feel
mind
her
just
twitch
sending
from
me
across
this?
the screen.
Do you mind just sending me this draft?" And he's like, yeah. So like I think that was just like learning to work together. And when there's only two people, everything's heightened as well.
Course.
So obviously I worked in biggish teams the whole time I'd had an office job. So like career wise, and I worked really closely with my manager in my first role. She taught me so much. But everyone was in a pair of two, but we had a big team. And then again in the second business, I went with the same manager to that business. So I'd worked with the same people for such a long time, and I'd never worked with a guy. So that was like slightly different energy. But yeah, we moved. We got an office in Brixton. You guys saw the old office. It was a shoebox. It was nice though.
But it was nice.
Oh, it was a nice
It was
shoebox.
nice.
It was a nice
shoebox.
Quality shoebox.
Yeah, it was a quality shoebox.
And obviously that's where we had our first ever kind of kick-off MTT strategy meeting.
Yes.
And then obviously, we've moved. Well, I mean, we're still in Brixton, but we've moved slightly bigger office, and now obviously got the studio.
Slightly.
You're like, anything is a lot bigger.
It's an office. It's an office.
That one was a table.
Yeah.
It was like the size of a table.
Yeah. But it's an office.
So once again, that was Jess's vision, because when we first went in there, I looked at Jess, I was like, it's a blank canvas. What do we do with this? But even this studio was a blank canvas. It takes something. Like, I've been in my house for 3 years. There's still nothing on the walls apart from dirt. So like,
Nick needs help. If anyone is listening and they are an interior designer, an artist, something.
him.
Nick's been talking about these empty walls.
Yeah.
Let's fill them up.
Let's fill up the walls. Fill up the walls.
Let's fill them up.
So who is on the season 25 roster?
Let's split. So like, who's the main point of contact?
Yeah.
I'll fire out mine. The wonderful podcast host, Madam Joyce.
Yes.
Dr. Adana, House of Adana. Onyemos, Dami Hope, Alana Nicole. I work a little bit across Shire as well. Sophia Cook, who is brilliant. Cabs family, obviously my day ones. I'm going to hand over to you.
Yeah, Simply Shio, Maniac, Favorite Child.
Crazy.
It's crazy. Spoken Word Academy. I don't know all of her titles, and she's
No,
gonna
let's
cuss
not
me.
go through all
She's
of
got
them.
all of them.
She's got all of
but
them.
I've led with Favorite Child, so don't cuss me.
Yeah.
We've got Regina, amazing choreographer, dancer, movement director. She's absolutely insane. Pele Neural, one man production house. It's the stuff that he thinks of and creates. Doesn't make sense to me at all. You've got the Greers, man, legacy talent. They've been in the game. Founders of YouTube, basically. And they have, I think collectively, 15 channels?
I can't,
It's
honestly,
just insane.
so
and the
many.
fact that Nathan, that's the dad, did all of this without a video editor for the best part of 7 to 8 years. Mental.
Yeah, it's
So,
insane.
and also we work alongside Tekka's kid, which is their son.
Yeah.
Their second son.
Can I just shout out that Tara, who's the mum in Meet the Greers? We're actually twins, so if you don't know. Our names are both Tara and our surnames are both Smith. So
That
we're
is
just
actually
twins.
quite mental.
Yeah.
When you guys met for
Let
the
me
first
correct
time,
you.
it
You're
was
not a
like,
Smith anymore.
Okay, I was a Smith. I was a Smith.
It's called Meet the Thorpes.
I was a Smith, but we're twins. Shout out to my twins, sorry.
But still, you've got the same. What's it called? Before you get married, both of you have the exact.
maiden
You were
name.
born the
Maiden
same.
name.
Yeah,
Maiden
you
name.
were born the same
Yeah.
name.
And last but not least, Coco Flo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Flora.
man.
And
Flora.
Meet the Thorpes.
Meet the Forbes. How are we gonna
Of course,
forget that?
Yeah, how
Meet the
Come
Thorpes.
on.
Come on,
we
come
led
on.
there. Yeah.
Do you know what's so crazy, is that you actually have disrespectfully, you have some of the best Black content creators on your roster.
I was gonna
Like,
say
you know,
best
sometimes they're
period.
just
Best
period. You've got
periods.
them dotted around.
Like,
Sometimes they'll be with multiple
best
different
periods.
agencies.
Well, like, the roster is like, what's the best music label that you can think of?
I don't know.
I'm gonna take
Bad
it
Boy
though.
Records?
That's us.
Yeah.
Is that what you're
QC,
saying?
100%.
Migos,
You
and-
guys.
100%.
Yeah, that's what we are.
That's yeah.
I think what it is the way that we proactively look for talent, or if we have inbound interest. To be fair, we've not had to go out looking for talent. That's like not something that we've ever done. It's been very much a natural progression of a relationship that we already have.
Yeah.
And it's grown like very organically through literally through like friendship, respect, knowing other people, recommendation, and that's what's led us to like building great relationships.
Yeah.
So, and also I think what it is the equal values. So like we set our values and tell you guys like this is who we are, this is how we run the business, and this is what we expect from you. And if you can do that in return, then we're going to make a great team.
Yeah.
So it's very much like from the offset, we know that our values match, our work ethic is going to remain the same. We're going to be open, honest, communicate well.
Yeah.
And obviously, if it doesn't work out, but we've done those things, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it never has like ended in a terrible situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great roster. I'm not going to lie.
100%. All right, let's
Talk to
go
me
on
nice.
to how we met.
That's what my question was going to be.
How we met. What a day.
What a day.
What a
Firstly,
day.
that was a watch. I've never, I shouldn't say this, been so hungover. Oh,
Not that
my.
we noticed though.
Not that we noticed.
I couldn't.
We didn't
I couldn't
notice.
move.
Yeah, we
We
didn't
didn't notice.
I honestly, I went home. I didn't take. It's so bad. I didn't take my makeup off. My hair had been down, so
Yeah.
I've gone to bed with it not tied up. I've
Yeah.
woken up in a rush because someone's calling me. I think we were maybe doing shots at the end or something.
Yeah, the whole time.
I had makeup all down my face. My hair's this bird's nest. Someone's ringing me, and my partner's got a picture of me. I got my phone on the shoulder. I'm like this. In my bed. I'm doing a phone call. Honestly, whatever happened at that TikTok black event.
Oh,
It was
Listen,
insane. That
never
jump story.
again.
that
was the
that
party.
was
Listen,
crazy.
it was the first
It was
event that
fun
we had
though.
gone to.
Yeah.
We'd ever
And it
gone
was the
to.
first event like after the pandemic.
No,
right?
it was during the pandemic. No, it
During?
was during the
I
pandemic.
think it was post because there was a lot of people there.
Oh, okay, fine,
Yeah.
fine.
It was like mid-period
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
But yeah, so we were at a TikTok Black event. It was Black History Month, so it was October.
Yep.
And to be fair, I think maybe it was just after pandemic because it's like no one had been out their house for a while.
That's why it was so
like
rum.
we'd had, I think the Cabs were there, Adana was there,
Shia.
Joyce, Shia.
That's the second time we met Shia.
Was it?
Yeah. Because the first time I met her was at the Facebook in person.
No,
Wait,
she was
what?
sitting.
No, she's with the roster, but it's the first time I see
We hadn't spent a
second
lot.
time I see
We
her
hadn't
in
spent a lot of
person,
time
so
with her.
I haven't spent
Probably.
a lot of
Fine.
time with her by that time.
So it's the first time we're like bringing people together as well off the
Yeah,
roster because
yeah.
everyone's kind of been in their separate houses because
Yeah,
we
yeah.
obviously we're incorporated in lockdown. And yeah, we obviously we're having a good time.
Yeah.
We were listening to music, having chats, having food, and we saw you guys. You were kind of just
Sheepish and scared.
You were stood in the
100.
corner,
It was like,
and Nick had been following you on TikTok. He knew who you were, obviously. But I don't think actually you even approached them with that in mind. It was literally for a chat. It was just like,
we're gonna have to be honest. Let's be
Okay.
real. Yeah, let's give the real.
oh god, I'm scared now.
So-
In case he says something that like puts us in it.
No. So what happened was that I was going to the TikTok event, and then I saw you guys behind me, and I remember I
Right.
didn't have my COVID pass for some reason. I had to like go to a shop or something.
So
to
did
get
we.
a
so
thing.
did we.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we both like I think either you were in front of me or behind me, but I remember the same thing happening to both of us at exactly the same time.
Mad.
And like a groupie, I said to Jess, "The Thorpes are here.
Shut
The Thorpes are here. That's
up.
great. Like this is great because I saw your content so much over the last period of time. And I was just like, oh, this is really
Yeah,
cool.
because obviously
Yeah.
you guys,
Yeah.
you were having your rise
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
having your rise on TikTok,
Yeah.
lockdown, COVID era.
Yeah.
But I saw all of your stuff on Instagram. I
On
wasn't,
Instagram, okay, fair enough.
TikTok heavy at that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you were at that time, I think it was like, what, between 6 and 10K followers on.
It was you were
Yeah, we
even
were
though
small.
like
We were
yeah, but you
small.
kept having viral videos.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you were having these little moments.
Yeah.
So we'd
Yeah.
both seen you.
I've seen you.
So
So then when, so then we went into the event and we were just chopping up with the guys, and I just saw you guys over there. I'm just gonna say, I'm literally just gonna say hi.
Yeah.
And then because of the vibe and the energy it was, I was like, yeah, man, this just feels
Yeah.
nice. Like it
Yeah.
felt nice from an early stage.
and then did you
we-
come to grab me, or was I already dancing? I can't remember.
No,
I think we
we
danced
met them
over
at two
to you at
different
this.
points,
Yeah, we
like-
did.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
separate.
It was separate.
It was separate
Yeah,
because
we didn't even speak about it in the event.
Yeah.
I just spoke about it as a groupie before.
yeah, literally. And I came. I'm quite brazen. Like I'm like,
yeah.
I'll see people. If it's an event, we're there to network, to chat,
Yeah.
to make friends even. So I think I just came over as like, hey, like, I'm
100%.
Jess.
100%.
Nice to meet you. And you're like,
That's
oh,
a very-
hi.
that's a very
You didn't say you own season 25.
No,
or
I
anything.
just literally was like, I'm just Jess.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, we just had a general chat, didn't we? You
Yeah.
introduced yourself, and yeah, we obviously then like, I think then after that, when Nick and I chatted, you were like, right, let's get these guys in the office. I think we
Yeah.
should have a meeting.
It was a moment.
And at that point, you'd been approached also
Oh,
by somebody else on that same evening. Obviously,
On
we
the
didn't even
same night,
we didn't
yeah.
even know that at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that till quite a while afterwards.
Yeah.
But very different energy.
Oh, absolutely.
listen, we got to tell a story.
Go on.
So that day was crazy. So that was the first time we had gone to Shoreditch and we'd been recognised. So we was walking to the event and there was all these different type of people that recognised us. We was like, what is going on there? We had to put out a video that day, so we recorded something quickly in the car park and went to the event. When we got upstairs, someone approached us and their
energy was wild.
Wild.
But this is someone that he had been emailing constantly because we were looking for management. But they were airing Asian completely. And yeah, sorry, go on.
So when he approached us, he was like, yeah, I've seen your email. Don't really care, but I might get back to you. Maybe not. And we was like, wow. So immediately, I just was discouraged.
Yeah. As you
Tara
would
was
be.
getting annoyed.
He was discouraged.
You're like, why am I even sitting here?
I was like, let's fight. I was like, let's fight.
Scrappy dude, man.
I was like, let's fight. And he
I'm
was
that
like,
down girl.
he was like, yeah, you guys have got what, 5,000 followers? Don't really deal with anyone that's got less
Then he
than
brought
10.
out his phone.
Well, why are you coming to speak to me then?
Sir,
Very rude.
he brought out his phone and he goes, look what I got. This is what I've got on
My roster.
my roster. And we're like,
He's like, how much do you want to make a month? $5 a month? I could get you
Is
some
that
pretty
enough
little
for you?
thing deals. I said, this is me. Big man. Yeah? So what do? You're talking about all this money you can get. Where's the proof? Where's the evidence? I haven't seen any evidence. Adrian's grabbing my hand. He's like, babe, come on, let's go. So at that
like,
point,
don't
I'm
ruin it.
irritated.
Yeah.
Because I also didn't want to go to this event. Guys, you know me.
That's not
They
your
know
kind
me.
of vibe usually.
I don't do events. It's just a Nick that will be like,
You should
Tara,
go to this one.
you should go to events and stuff like that. So we've gone to this event. I'm like, this is long. I don't want to go. It's a favours. This is absolutely long.
now I'm trying to calm her down these times. now.
Yeah.
So like we're dancing, just chilling. I'm like, just relax. Nick walks over.
I couldn't hear a thing that Nick said. I thought he
Tara's
was
like,
selling something.
I think that's a standard protocol.
couldn't-
I'm a mumbler. So
I
that's-
couldn't-
He's thumping.
But do you know what was happening? In that day, they had loads of vendors. And
Yeah.
you know, they were
Yeah,
giving
they
out
did.
food.
Oh my god, they did.
So
Yeah.
I thought that you was a vendor.
Selling.
So you were saying something.
Like, do you
Oh
want a
my
I was on
patty?
vendor
God.
energy.
You literally,
It's like,
that's it. You clearly give sales
Tara's like,
energy
huh?
at
I'm
all
like,
times.
what? And then I started going,
well, like, we thought, Nick, do you want a patty?
Oh my god.
and I'm like, that's all I was like, Then I heard him say, cabs.
Cabs.
I said, huh? He said, the cabs.
That's
and I looked over
hilarious.
and I was like, well,
I feel like I was
You
talking
were
for
like,
I feel like I was
were
talking
you
like for
not selling
15
me
minutes.
some?
at
We
that
didn't
point.
hear a thing, boss.
not a word.
mental.
Not
So
a thing.
In my head, I thought genuinely he was telling us to go over and try food with the cabs. So I'm like, okay, fine. So we walk over.
And then Shilo's there.
Shayo's there, and I've met her before because we went to a Netflix talk
Yeah.
thing before, and we're sitting down, and
And then
Adrian's
Marlon's there.
yeah.
And then you saw the cabs all,
I saw the cabs and acted like I didn't see them.
yeah.
Because you
So
were
I'm-
nervous. You were
oh
like,
my
I don't know what
gosh.
to say.
And one thing about me, I'm a fan of people, but
Yeah.
I will never make it obvious that I'm a fan because I'm really scared that I might be like, oh my gosh, hi, and they'll be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I just don't.
There's nothing worse. That feeling, like,
the
God.
worst.
oh my god.
It's the worst. So
We're not like that.
Nick goes, the cat, he was like, Tay, Shan, this is Agent and Tara. And I was like, hi guys, hi.
And then,
At this point, you're still thinking this is the feed man, and I'm so,
And I'm like,
I'm so confused.
why is he so connected?
What's
What are we
happening?
doing?
Yeah.
yeah, and then Tay's gone, raw, we were just looking at your video. And he's gone, my brother, and he showed us, he saved the videos. And we was like, who, us?
No, it was just you and Tay at the time. I was with Shan. Yeah.
But still,
I was starstruck.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
You're famous.
Yeah. The cabs, you know, the whole cab.
Please stop.
No.
they will love that.
And then after that, we had mingled for a little bit.
Yeah,
and then I was like, okay, Adrian, let's go now because I feel sick. So not feel sick as in I want to vomit, but I'm just like, this
I'm
is too
nervous.
much for me.
I'm anxious.
It's
There's
too
too many
much. So we
people.
moved away and went back in the corner, and it's just everyone's dancing. Then you got me and Adrian in the corner dancing. And then this amazing woman comes over. She's like, hi, guys. I'm Jess.
Yeah.
How are you?
That is very-
Baby mo- And I was like,
Do you guys want a drink?
do you guys want a
Oh,
drink?
yeah, I think
She's
that
asking
and I
us
was
stuff.
like,
I was like, oh, no.
no, I'm okay. So we thought you was Nick's assistant. Yeah? We thought you were Nick's assistant because you
Wow.
was too...
Yeah.
Picture this. We've just met an owner of a management company who was really nasty.
yeah, true.
Horrible.
So it's the complete opposite. And I'm like, wait, what?
Shortly after that, Tay and Shan and a few other people were like, let's take a picture.
Yeah.
Jess was the first person who goes,
I'll take it.
I'll take it. Then she was like, I'll take your bag.
Yeah, she took
I'll
our
take this
bags.
stuff. He's like, we're thinking,
This is
who
very
this
me
woman?
energy.
She was so
is
lovely. It was just so
nice.
amazing.
Like,
And then Jess said, okay, we'll be in contact. And I was like, oh, okay, because it's Nick's assistant, because I figured out who he was when we was with the cabs.
Yeah.
The next day, no, we got in the car. Me and Adrian was like, do you think they're really going to contact us? I'm not sure if they will, you know. They probably won't. The next day, you guys contacted us and was like, guys, we're not joking. We need to get you in the office, bloody, really, blah. And it's when we sat down with you guys and you was like, hi, guys. So I'm Jess. I own season 25. This is me and Adrian.
You were like, what?
When we got back in the car,
The girl from the dance floor.
me and Adrian was like,
Cannot be.
company.
She's
Wait,
lying.
what?
Oh my
Must
God,
be her
that's
auntie.
hilarious.
And I will never forget, because at that time, when we was looking for management, obviously we had another viral moment. So we had that horrible manager. Absolutely not. And then we had you guys, and then there was a few other management agencies that had reached out at the
they
same
were starting
time.
to chat.
So we had another agency that were really lovely, wore hoodies for our a meeting with them, because they were like, we're wearing hoodies because you guys wear hoodies. Like, it was really sweet.
There's still good energy.
Yeah, really good energy. And then there was another agency who were managing someone that I follow. Like, I'm a massive fangirl for this person. And they were like, yeah, we manage Shannon Nicole. And I was like, Shannon Nicole?
You were like, what?
Oh my gosh. But in that moment, we were like, okay, we've gone from having no options for management
So many.
to having so many.
To too many.
To too many. And I was like, I am...
Let's just back up. In that month, though, before it was just like Tara will come up with the creative ideas of what we should film, and I would reach out to brands. And there was a point where I was like, babe, I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm
anymore.
trying, but
I'm trying,
yeah.
and I'm not even getting no's.
Yeah.
We need management.
Yeah.
And within that month,
Yeah, so
It's
we had...
like when you speak it.
Yeah. So we had all these people wanting to manage us. We're having these meetings. I was so confused. And I remember me and Adrian was like, no, we need to pray about this because we need to make the right decision. Because there could be 5 people, but there's only one really good option.
Yeah.
And I remember we prayed about it. And I think we left it open for like 2.5 weeks.
It was a bit of time.
It was a bit of time.
we
And
didn't speak about it to each other, though.
You just
in that
thought,
time.
let's leave
Do you
this
remember? And then
now.
it was just one day, it was like,
no, we definitely had spoken about it because we were praying about it together.
yeah.
But not
we didn't
speaking. You're not
speaking
having
about it.
conversation.
Oh, no. There
Yeah,
was
yeah.
no conversations. And then I was like, Adrian, we need to be careful because we've had the interest. Now we've left it so long. They might be like, all right, we're moving on. And I remember speaking to your mum and my mum, and they were both like, you need to go season 25.
And we was like, what?
Thank
We were
you,
like,
Mama
why?
Thorpe.
Yeah,
Thank
100%.
you.
And then we was like, we don't know where to go. Everyone's so lovely. And then we felt like God was at season 25.
Do you remember the mistake we almost made
No.
with that company that was like, yeah, we'll send you over the contract. They got the names wrong.
So there was another management agency that sent us a contract with the wrong names. And
It's a telltale sign.
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
like, at that point, it's serious
Thank God
business.
we didn't. I
Yeah.
even forgot about
and
that.
then they didn't even respond. Like, all now,
Ever.
we sent a message.
So
straight
now
after.
they've never.
Not
Never.
a response.
Never.
That's
Not a like they sent us the contract. I said, oh, it's wrong. The WhatsApp's still open. She read it. And then I pinged again. Sorry, excuse me. Hi.
Crazy.
that
never
is
heard back.
wild behavior.
But we left it for 2.5 weeks. And then we spoke to you guys. And I remember we pranked you guys.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you did prank
We
us.
pranked you guys.
I actually had
If
cleared
we
that
could
from
have
my
recorded
memory.
that, it would have been.
It would have
Jess's
been
face was
pucker.
like,
So we were like, yeah, guys, we've made our
Yeah.
decision. And you was like, okay. And we was like,
Unfortunately.
unfortunately. And Jess's face went, you're stuck with us.
like,
Unfortunately,
yeah.
you're stuck with us.
I would have never obviously been like, I'm mad.
No, of course.
like-
Of course.
Fancy you guys.
But I was like 2.5 weeks and we made the right decision. And until this day, I know God was right. Like
100%,
100%.
man.
Like even our process with you guys has been, this is why I say you guys are family, because it's beyond what our revenue can bring in. Because guys, respectfully, when we started, we weren't bringing nothing in. Not like that anyway.
We didn't know how.
We didn't know how to. We had a very small following.
I mean, it wasn't yet a fully formed business.
exactly.
So like, it was very much like from initiation to where you guys are now. I feel like because we've built that together.
Yeah.
I mean, for me as well, we've always seen this like the long-term goal for you guys,
Yeah.
but definitely the last 12 months have been the
Yeah.
like that fact where
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, wow, this
Yeah.
is the
Well, they say it takes 5 years to have an overnight success, but the reality is
Yeah.
that the work has
work's been going on.
The work's been going on
you know.
behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
And we've always been the way that we approach the people that we represent is that we don't work in a traditional management way, right? It's really about a partnership between two people that believe that we can add value on both ends, right? We want you to be able to do what you do best, which is engage your community, be creative, and on our side, it's about how we can then support you and develop you into a long-term career. And I think that you kind of need that, right? Like even when you were going viral all the time, that wasn't the reason why I was interested in your content. There's a lot of people that go viral, and there's a lot of times when the piece of content or people can be seen for content that they create. Doesn't mean that it necessarily speaks to me or speaks to the business. I think that what we've realized, especially I'll speak on behalf of myself, is that when I first saw you, it felt like home.
Wow.
I think it's the relatability and yes, it's that kind of like feel of comfort when you're like, I get these people.
Yeah.
I get it.
But I felt that coming into that meeting the
Yeah.
first time. And it was like,
100%.
wow, this feels very
I think
nice.
There shouldn't be anything unsettling or like
100%.
weird about the people that you're going to bring in as part of your team.
Absolutely.
100%.
Especially because it's not just, okay, I'm going to be working with you as part of my team. You might hire in time your videographer, your editor.
Yeah.
But we know the ins and outs
Absolutely.
of everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a very like vulnerable position to be in sometimes. And also like, we know your finances. Like we're very much ingrained in like everything you guys do. So I think if there is a feeling, and this is to anyone who's even watching this thinking, oh, I'm watching this because I want a manager or I'm looking to take the next step in my career, like there has to be that level of trust and like that feeling that it's sometimes you have to go on gut. And even though you might think, oh, that person's run a great business, if you don't get the feeling together that you're a great fit, that has to come before.
And the person has to seem bigger for you than you see for yourself a lot of those
for
times.
sure.
And it's that. So even when we had sat down with you guys and we're like, yeah, we're gonna. One of the things is that you guys didn't say to us, what do you want, $5,000 a month? Do you want a pretty little thing?
I don't even think we spoke about rent.
No,
Never.
we didn't speak about any money. You guys were like, look, this is where you are. We were really, really small. And you was like, we're not talking about this year or next year or the third year. We're talking about 5 years from now.
Yeah.
What does that how do we get you to that process? And I was like, oh,
I don't know.
my God.
Like I'm not even.
I have no idea.
Past
And then
tomorrow.
next month.
you were like, okay, guys, so maybe one day you can do this and then you can do this. And this is what we see can work for you guys. And we were like, we never even thought that could work for us.
You were like, we're just speaking about TikTok ideas.
Yeah.
There was
going
And then, sorry, babe, you lot was asking us what we wanted.
we didn't know.
And the thing that we did know was like, okay.
And I think it took a while for you to think about that,
100%.
really.
100%.
Like, it was like, we didn't realize this was an option. So now
At all.
you're asking us, what do we want? But like, we're too far removed.
100%.
So you had to get in the mindset of being like, this is the long-term goal, strategy, things that we want for ourselves.
Yeah.
That's also what consistency does.
And consistency.
Because if you are consistent with it, then you'll find out the thing you don't like and the things you don't want to do. Like beginning when you're doing pranks or when you ever did your first brand campaign.
Oh, yeah.
You are definitely.
Yeah.
We're going to have to find that
I'm
link.
sorry.
Honestly.
That should be edited in.
Honestly, they just, but honestly,
Can we just
not-
say they did that just before we signed our management agreement?
yeah, it was
Yeah.
not when we
Nothing
was
to
with
do with
season
us.
25.
And then they
No
sent us
claim.
it and we were like,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
And we read the contract and we were like, hell on earth.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
And for the fee that they paid.
look, it was a lesson.
Signed
It
for
was
60
a
deal, man.
lesson.
It was a lesson.
I think they still can use that.
They can
Still use that
For the next
content.
99 years.
Oh my god.
They can. I remember just sitting down
life.
and having these strategy meetings, and I was like, "Rah, these people believe in us more than we believe in ourselves, and they
Yeah.
don't even know us."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yo," and then season 25 is home. Like I've always said it, and I put it on record. You're not going to see me anywhere else. Okay, I
It's
told
on
you this, guys.
record.
It's
You
on
lot
record.
hold them accountable.
But I've said this to you guys so many times. I said, no, I don't care. It's no, because you guys have seen something in us and have also taken a chance on us.
Yeah.
Because realistically, the amount of time that you've invested in us, it's a lot of time. So even like what you said, that first advert we did, and it was horrible. And it was basically you guys picking apart all the things that we have put together and like, guys, no, we need to build this back a different way. So I remember even our first deal that we got with season 25, and I said, how much? Wait, hold on, sorry. And then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, absolutely no problem.
sure.
I put the phone down, I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But then there's also been times where the fee might be really low, but you say, guys, I'm telling you, do this still and watch all the stuff that will come from it. So basically, when we started doing, when we signed season 25, and before then, I mean, nobody was responding to you in the emails anyway. They were basically saying, Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, that we love them, don't know what to do with them. We don't know how their content.
That was a lot of feedback. I mean, I think in the first instance, obviously, like we were watching your guys' content, we're enjoying it, we're laughing. It's always landing right.
Yeah.
But we were very honest with you and saying like this is not forever.
Absolutely.
And we need to start thinking about like diversifying the type of content you're creating.
Absolutely.
I don't think a lot of managers would be very honest.
I mean, at that point, you were still hitting numbers. So there wasn't a need for you to change your content strategy.
Exactly. Yeah.
But we know that like this will last a very finite period of time and then there'll be nothing.
Absolutely.
And I think the reality is the morals of season 25 and Jess and I is that you have to do things with integrity, right?
Absolutely.
And
100%.
it's so difficult. It's easy for me as a manager to say, be yourself on camera. I'm sitting on camera and I'm literally sweating my back.
I think we're doing quite well.
I think you guys are doing amazing.
Yeah, right now,
amazing.
We're doing quite
everybody
well.
that knows me knows I don't do this.
No, he did not. He's a ninja.
It's out of love. But honestly, so when we're looking at, okay, like how can we just show more of yourselves on camera? Because the reality is that the first obligation we have is to your community.
Yeah.
It's to your audience, right? We have to make sure that each time they watch your content, they're remunerated with something which they feel like is of value of their time. They're not just engaging with it because they stumbled across it. It's like, this has made my day better, or it's made me feel a different way. And that's what you guys always say, like, you want your content to be something at the end of the day somebody can watch and they can detach from the world and just relief, right? So that means that you can be yourself. And if you're anything but that, then people are like, that's not what I signed up for.
like it.
So like, pranks are cool, that's all cool, and that might just be sometimes, but the reality is that you have to do something where you can show up and be yourself and people love you for it. And then you can pay them back by saying, I appreciate you for loving me and I love you back for loving me. Like that and I think that is really difficult to do. And I think everything that we do here is really like tied to music. It's also tied to storytelling.
Yeah.
Like for me, the best story wins. Jess is a bad boy storyteller. Like honestly, like she knows. I'm telling you, when she says that, I'm like, okay, then what happened next?
I like telling stories.
Do you know what I mean? So,
and I think also that's probably what what drives us in doing what we do is that like we are consumers of your guys' content already, and also that's what we enjoy doing. Like we like telling stories, we like listening, we like understanding people's personal stories and like how that builds a narrative. So I feel like you've got to have that interest in the person, in their journey, in their story to want to actually like build their career and work together. And that's why it isn't just that, let's look at revenue, let's look at the brand campaign, let's look at, from this only in a business perspective, because it's very like the way we work is very holistic.
Yeah.
If one thing's great and everything else is bad, like if you're cool, you're doing loads of brand campaigns, but you're really unhappy, you're not replying to our messages, you're not getting things done on time, you're not, I don't know, you're not getting on together, then it doesn't matter that the brand campaigns are great right now. Like all these things need to like be working.
Absolutely.
And that's why
symbiotically.
I add so much pressure onto you guys. Even when we do brand campaigns, I think it's really important that when we say yes to things, we're saying yes to things because we know we can deliver the best message for the value of the brand and for the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the amount of times I said, this ain't it.
100%.
Run it back.
Yeah.
They're like, but they said we can just make this edit. Like, no.
So many times.
Sometimes where you guys are like, I'm gonna send it, but I know what Nick's gonna
Oh,
say.
100%.
We have that discussion.
All the time. I mean, respectfully, I sent a creative treatment to you yesterday. I said, he ain't going to accept this, but he said he wants it today.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to send it. But there's been so many times we've done, there was one ad that we done. Yeah, the company will remain
nameless.
Nameless. And we shot it and it was just a headache. Everything with it was just a headache.
Oh.
And then Nick was like, no, we need to over-deliver. I said, we need to what?
Why, sir?
Why?
Why?
What?
You over-deliver them.
They said they want 1 reel and 3 stories. Nick's like, no, we're going to give them 1 reel. We're going to give them a new video for TikTok. We're going to give them stories. And then we're going to add polls. No, but Nick, why? And he's like, just trust me. Just trust me. And I hated every single minute of it. And every time I have trusted you guys, it has always paid off.
Always.
So that's why I say, even when there might be a theme, we might be like, oh, no, that's a bit low, man. Obviously, our chest has got a bit high now because we're now spoiled.
You're professionals.
We're spoiled because before that fee would have been like, oh my gosh, we never would have got that before. I remember you guys were like, guys, I know it's a low fee, but we would suggest you do it because it will open the doors to other things. We done that
I like
the
open
doors
doors.
are open. The
I like
doors
open
are
doors.
wide
The
open.
doors are still open.
The doors are still open, and it's just your knowledge in this business, and also getting us to over deliver.
I think seeing the bigger
And
picture always
You've
versus
given us the goal and the vision to have a better goal and vision.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm saying.
100%.
I could, you see me? For me to hit 10K on Instagram was it. I'm in heaven.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm telling
Still
you.
great though.
I was like, babe, I'm going to pay for 10K.
And I said no. I said
You
absolutely
said
not.
no
These
way.
people
No.
are going to, all they want is a tenner.
I said no. I said no.
Babe, I'm going to pay.
Is that how cheap it is, by the way?
It was so cheap.
Jess,
How much did we argue?
All I
about
wanted
this?
was the swipe up option. I was
And now anyone gets it. Imagine you paid
No
your
one
£10. What a waste of money.
What? I said no. I said absolutely not. We are not going to be those guys that even with the Instagram tick where you can pay now, I will never pay for it because I want.
To work for it.
I want to work for it, and I
earn it.
want Meta to be like, "Well done, guys."
Yeah,
Here's
the
stamp.
work is
I
worth the
And that's
rewards.
not to throw it on anybody else. If you pay, that's your business. I just don't want to, and I feel like it's been a process. And even when we hit 100K, and then you guys were like, "What's the next goal?" And we were like, 125. Nick was like,
110.
200.
200.
Wait,
What?
Nick, okay, but look,
How
we're
can you-
being
that's not-
unrealistic.
not a
And a
goal.
lot of the times when you guys are saying stuff to us, we're like, yeah, but guys, you're being unrealistic. That's not realistic. But if we had stayed in our realistic bad, we'd have realistic numbers. And we don't have realistic numbers anymore.
100%.
And that is testament to both of you guys.
And I think obviously our belief in all of our like clients, the talent on the roster, like our belief in you is to build your own self-belief and confidence because we're not going to do the physical work for you.
Yeah.
But the reason that we're working together is because we see value in what you guys are doing. So we have to feed that. We have to, we believe in what you're doing. So you need to build that confidence and build that self-belief so that you can keep, progressing and be successes as you now are.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I just had a thought. So
I'm scared.
not everything
So
has
am I.
been
Oh.
smooth sailing. And you guys have been there throughout
Yeah.
the test. There was one time we were so broke, we were doing Amazon.
Oh,
Delivery.
I was
Amazon
that
deliveries.
really.
And
When
it
we heard
affected you.
that,
Like, because we didn't tell you
yeah.
we was doing it, we were just getting on with it.
Yeah,
and,
we're not those people to be like, just to let you know, guys, we're doing Amazon.
And I remember when Nick
We were doing
found
like
out,
5 shifts a day.
Yeah, and then banging out. Maybe if we finished the shift, we'd bang out a video on
Yeah.
the side of the road.
Because I think what it was one of us called you and you said we're doing Amazon.
Amazon, yeah.
So I said, oh, they're shooting Amazon. And Nick
Yeah.
was like, Amazon? We're not working with Amazon.
Yeah.
And it was this whole then, not even a revelation, but you were like,
Yeah.
oh, and then we're just doing a few deliveries. And it just came as a shock. Like there is no bad part of having 2 jobs, having
Yeah,
a
of
second
course,
job,
of course.
making an income is, I think
the grind
also
of life.
it's testament to your guys' work ethic anyway. I actually probably would feel otherwise inclined if you came to us and said, we're not making money. Why are we not making money?
Yeah.
It's your job to make us money because I don't believe that it is solely our job
don't
to
think so as
create
well.
revenue
Absolutely not.
streams. It's for us to work together to work on content strategy and develop and create those
Yeah.
revenue streams together. But you didn't mention that, and from your own self respect, I guess,
Yeah.
we're straight to get this job. We need it right now.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that we value any less what we're doing. We're
100%.
doing this so we can hustle even harder.
100%.
And I think that speaks volumes about you guys.
Yeah. It was a time.
It was a
I
time.
remember Nick calling me and you just sounded so down. And I was like, are you all right? Are you okay? And he was like,
I think he was disappointed in himself. And I was like, no, it's
yeah. And I was like, it's not a you
Yeah.
thing. Like this isn't personal to season 25. That's not your fault. This is just where we're at the moment. And
Yeah.
do you get what I'm saying?
It is, yeah. And even now I feel a bit teary thinking about that time. It's mostly tied down to, I think these decisions should only be made because you want to do it and not because you have to do it.
Right.
I think that I'm going to say this, I think that everybody that is a creator should have a second job.
Yeah.
Because I think that sometimes when you're in your own bubble, you are not I guess you're not tied to being around someone and then having conversations and being able to compare your skill set to where the world is going, right? Sometimes when you're working from home or you're by yourself or you're just trying to
You're
come
quite
up with
protected, and it becomes maybe like a more insular way of thinking.
Yeah, that's one thing. But I think mostly for me, it's just that I have learned great things from the people that are around me in the jobs that I've been done. And if I wasn't Net Suggest and seeing how she deals with certain situations, if I wasn't with my previous CEO and realized how he built a company from 0 to 50 million and then sold it to Canon, I wouldn't have an idea of what that stuff really looks like.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to build your creator journey, a lot of the creators that we work with saying, I'm just focused on my own thing, I'm trying to do my own thing. But the reality is that there's so many blueprints out there about how you can adapt that style of content to the things that actually work for you. There's multiple ways for you to earn a lifetime income from what you're currently doing. But I think in the UK, we're very focused on one-on-one action. And I think if we reverse it, like if we think, okay, do you know what, how can we add value to the people that have invested time and energy into our content? How do we pay them back? Everything else will fall into place. So running back, I think for me, the most important thing was just like, one, it was like it came out of the blue. Yeah. Two, I did take it personally because everybody I work with is personal to me. That's just the fact of the matter. I'm not going to do something and work with people that I don't have self-belief in.
Absolutely.
And when I say things, you know how much verbiage and language means to me. I mean it. Like I don't like saying things that I don't mean or I can't action. So when it's like, oh yeah, we're doing this thing, I was like, nah.
It spun your head.
Spun me. And then I was like, okay, well, everything is looped in, right? I know it's only a matter of time for you to get to where you God's grace, where you are now. But I was like, okay, but how do I make them more comfortable in this setting so they don't have to do all of these other things? So for me, when I heard it, like it wasn't great, but it once again like put a fire underneath me to be like, okay, time to run it up. And that's when I became harder on you.
I think that's what it is.
100%.
It's never a bad thing to have a quiet moment in this industry, because I think what it does is gives you that reminder, nothing is like given.
100%.
This is consistent hard work, and nothing can ever take a back seat. Have a holiday, take a break, take a week off. But I think what is a good reminder to like anyone watching this who's like, cool, I want to start my content creation journey because it's a great way to earn a lot of money. It's easy. I can, my time's my own. A lot of this is a lot, you see 1% on the internet. And I think it's a good reminder having a quiet period of like, wow, I got comfortable potentially. I'm not saying that's what happened with you guys, but there are a lot of people I've worked with over the 8 years of doing this job that I can see now are having that lull. And I'm thinking, actually, I know when the periods were when you started putting in a little bit less effort, then a little bit less, then a little bit less. And actually, for you to rise back to where you were is going to be 10 times harder than if you remain consistent all those years ago. So, I think it's good to have sometimes that reminder, like, this is our reality check. We're going to work harder.
100%.
But in those times of quiet as well is great for you guys. I think it's great for content creators to be able to do some reflection, but more importantly for them to do things that they really want to do. Like PewDiePie, one of the biggest content creators, I think he's third now. Before he used to be top number one. He used to change his content every single year, and he was able to do that because he built such a loyal community. He's like, okay, this year I'm going to focus on this. Next year I'm going to focus on that. And I think a lot of my background comes from working with US creators. So the reason why the business that I previously was with was able to sell to Canon was because of the type of content creators that we had. So when I dissected that and I looked at that, it's like, this is what I would say is the winning formula to have a long-term career in this game. And nothing is a sprint. Like you might have a great month, you might have a great year, but then you have to then re-up and go again. So that's why when we say, what's the long-term thing that you're looking for? We're trying to achieve that for you guys and with you guys, so then you can look back and say, man, this is something that we've actually really been able to accomplish as a collective, and actually it's aligned with the trends of the industry as well. And I think that's, me, I love numbers.
Numbers, man.
I live
Data.
for it, man. Like I don't know what it is. Give me a spreadsheet.
I think it's it's not only creators that have to be aware of like what is current, what's changing within the industry, like businesses like this, small businesses, management companies, influencer marketing companies. We've also got to be ready to like adapt and change with the times and develop our services where we see the industry going as well. So it's not just a you thing. It's not putting all the onus on you. It's everybody in this industry needs to always be aware of the fact that like the direction changes, what content people are consuming changes, what you need from your management or the people around you changes with the times as well. So like we're also aware of that, and then we try to develop as a business to make sure we're heading where the industry's heading, but also to service our clients' needs where they're developing and growing as well.
Got you. And what would you say is the thing that frustrates you the most about us? Be honest. Be honest. Be honest. Be honest.
Oh my God, you put me on
Let's
the
get to
spot.
the
We
meat.
didn't get briefed these questions.
No, they
by the way.
didn't. They had no idea what the questions were.
Frustrates you the most?
Yeah. Or it's just like, come on, guys, sort it out.
Or what do you think we should do more?
Nick's
Or,
laughing. I don't even know what he's going to say.
He's got a plethora.
Tip of his
I'm
tongue.
looking
He
to-
knows
He's got a
it. He
plethora.
knows exactly.
He's got a plethora. Just to say, I remember we were sitting down and trying to discuss what we were going to do for the podcast. We had a meeting. It was me, Adrian, and David. And then me and Adrian got into an argument on the phone with David. It was me, David, and Adrian.
Yeah.
And Nick had called to say, like, how's the meeting going? And me and Adrian were arguing.
Whilst
at the
Nick
same-
was just
whilst
listening.
Nick was
Yeah.
on the phone. And Nick was like, guys, I'm really not about to waste my time.
Yeah.
After
Listening
work,
to you
Not doing
listening
this.
to you argue. I'm giving you 10 minutes, figure it out. And I was like,
Like, yes, Dad.
Not school children.
but you know what? We were
Literally.
moving like school kids. Like it was big. A lie?
It was just childish.
stupid. And then Nick called back 10 minutes later. He's like, guys, was like, yeah, we're good, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine.
We've
we're
settled
fine.
it. We've
Yeah.
settled it.
So I know that you guys get to
Yeah.
experience
That's
it.
not what
Yeah,
happened.
no.
That's not happened.
I love that both of you are like,
pranked him.
no.
Oh.
We answered the phone and goes, "Are you dumb?" And he was like, "Guys, I'm coming in now."
No. What happened was, so I call you guys back. It's like, yeah, it's done. It's like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? It's like, we're not doing the podcast anymore.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I was like, what? We're not doing the podcast anymore. I was like, I'll be there in 20
He
minutes.
said, I'll be there in 20 minutes.
That
Be
is
there.
dedication, by the way.
100%.
This isn't work hours. Like this actually isn't work
Yeah.
hours. But I know that you have experienced those moments with us. So is there anything that is just like, come on, guys, get it together?
I think there's been periods versus what is the one thing.
Fine.
I think there's been periods where it's like, okay, cool, we're checking in on you, and you're like, oh, I'm having a bit of burnout, or I'm having, and that's normal and natural. But I think there's probably been periods where like we think, okay, cool, it's lasted longer than it needed to.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to give you advice now to kick you back into gear.
Yeah.
But that's something that happens with every single person that we
Yeah.
work with. It's not like
Personal
one
to one
person. It's not
person.
personal. I think there's just periods where it's like, maybe it is that actually you spent too much time on the internet, you spent too much time doing content, you need to step back for a bit, and we advise that, and we're like, cool, take a breather, like make sure what you're doing is something that you enjoy, because everyone can see right through you picking up the phone and going, oh, let's film a TikTok.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I think the only times we've ever had to kind of step in is where maybe that break's felt a bit too long.
It's been too long.
Or cool, we've really kind of like stepped down on our work rate, so let's get it back to where it was.
Yeah.
But it's only like, that's fleeting periods,
Yeah.
I would say.
You guys
Yeah.
are always being-
Would you agree? Oh, you've got one thing. Look at
Yeah,
him.
he's got something going.
Nick works more on a day-to-day on the phone with these guys, so there
Honestly.
might be habits that you have
100%.
that he's more
100%.
upset by.
I wouldn't say that you guys are actually a joy to work with. I'm being honest. Like the reality is,
It's true.
I would say that from where I sit, it's just reverting back to old behaviors. Yeah, like I think this is more of a problem of me than just like everybody else. But I'm just so solutions based that every single time there's a problem, I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do to solve it?
Absolutely.
It's not like
Yeah.
this is how I feel. I was like, okay.
But then also, let's fix the
Let's
problem.
fix it.
Yeah.
They're trying to
Let's
fix
fix
it.
it.
So like
Yeah.
every single time that I guess you guys are doing something, I'm always thinking about what we can do to solve that problem.
Absolutely.
But the reality is that I don't have to do the work that you're doing. So and I'm not experiencing life through your lens. So all I'm seeing is, hey guys, you've posted 2 IG reels in the space of 4 weeks. Just let you know.
Yeah.
Just let-
You just drop it.
Now
Drop
you
the
just
mic.
deal with that
Now
feeling.
figure it out.
You
Yeah.
deal with
Figure
that.
it out. Yeah.
But I'm also trying to get it to a point where there's an element here where you are creating content for your community.
Yeah.
But there's also an element here that I want you to only not make content only when you decide not to, not because you haven't figured it out.
Fine.
Yeah, I think that the habits and morals that we're distilling in season 25, just have discipline in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're saying you're taking a break, take a break.
Yeah.
And we're happy for you to take breaks. We all need breaks. Everybody needs a break.
Plan before that.
Plan before
Nothing
that.
changes in the break.
100%.
It's not I'm taking a break. It's cool. We won't contact you, but you've prepared for that break.
Absolutely.
You've stuck to deadlines. You make sure you've got your campaign work done. You've done some organic content. Someone's managing it for you. And when you come back, you're feeling refreshed, but nothing had to take a dip.
100%.
It's about that discipline for sure.
The impact of discipline is what you guys are going on your journey with your health journey. Like,
Yeah.
when you
Yeah,
guys
for
are, like-
sure.
and that's not to say that you can't bend or there be flexibility or have that mac and cheese after your
colonic.
Stop. Are you actually? It was
I
actually.
actually did. Yeah, I got a colonic and then had my.
I thought he was literally just baiting you out on the podcast, but actually,
Yeah, it happened.
we move over that. Let's move over that.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, and,
no
that,
big
and
deal.
everybody has that. Like, there's multiple times I look at my fridge. I said I shouldn't really eat 2 whole pies of apple crumble, but do I do it? Yeah, like
Absolutely.
That's because Nick
think
literally
that's
goes to the
run.
gym 7 times a day.
100%. 100%.
Sometimes I dream about it.
I know you do. I know you do.
I actually feel like there's something I don't know what's on your list here.
Yeah.
But I feel like we should do like a little quick fire, like who's most likely to, or
Yeah,
like
we
who's
should.
the most like out of all 4 of us.
We should.
But yeah, but also, what's your pet peeve about us?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
My pet peeve.
Yeah.
That you're on our asses.
Leave me alone.
You're on our because sometimes so it's actually goes to what Jess was saying. More time when we take a dip, it's because I'm like, oh, I can't do it anymore. It's too much. And I start to feel sorry for myself.
Yeah.
And I want to stay there for like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
But you guys are like, I'm giving you 4.
Yeah.
And then it's time to come out of it. And it'll be like, you get the messages, morning family, morning guys, happy Monday. And I'm like,
It's like it's like opening your curtains in a dark room.
and
like,
you're like this.
Get
And
out of bed.
And I'm like this. And I'm like, no, I'm not ready. I would also say that a pet peeve, but actually it works in our favor, is that Nick, you always want us to over-deliver.
Nick's he's looking for perfection.
He's like, guys, how could you make this better? Okay, the brand have asked for this, but how do we make this better? And for me, sometimes I just want to do what they've asked.
Yeah.
Just let me do what they've asked. Let me grab
Sometimes.
my check and let me keep it moving.
Sometimes.
But what I've realized is the reason why we probably get the quality of the campaigns that we do is because we've over-delivered.
100%.
Constantly. So I guess it's almost like you have
And
a
the fact is, right now in this very oversaturated market, is if you're going to go the extra mile, and it might be 1% more than somebody else has, that is actually
it's very telling.
putting you in a position here where everyone else is like, oh, cool, they did their job, they got it done, but you gave that extra 1% and it goes a long way. And I think there's people sat, they're having stressful moments, loads of people are missing deadlines, they're on their emails, they're trying to get this campaign live, and if you just get it right, do it well, and give a tiny bit extra, whose name is going to be the one repeating in the meetings.
100%.
So that's the way to
I
look
think I'm
at
on a quest to give content creation some meaning.
Yeah.
Like if you're a musician, then you've dedicated 10,000 hours to your craft, right? Like if you're picking up a guitar, you can't be on stage and suck. Everybody's gonna hear it and they'll be like, "Who's that brother there?" Like, that's not gonna run.
100%.
If you're a bad actor, people are gonna let you know in the comments. There's a lot of bad films I've watched. There's a lot of bad theatre performances I've lost, and we all love stories, right?
Yeah.
So when you're watching content or when you guys are creating content, my idea is, how do you guys become better? Because that's your work.
Yeah.
So you have to, like, I'm trying
That's
to think
your
about
portfolio, your CV.
Yeah, 100%.
And you want to look back and be like, oh, we got so much better.
100%.
We didn't just stay the same. We got so
100%.
much better.
And
So
there's
that
a lot of-
that push every time.
It helps.
It helps.
There's a lot of pride in as well when you deliver something that you like, I'm excited to send
And
this
also
over.
like say like and not just in like a brand partnership way,
Yeah,
like in your
100%.
guys' organic content, when you get people that are saying to you like, I've followed you for 2 years and you guys are getting better with time.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
you're putting in more effort, the quality's gotten better. Like the fact is that your community is going to continue engaging with you and want to support you if you're putting in the additional work.
Yeah.
So the way you treat your brand campaigns, your organic content is the way that you treat the business.
100%. And I think like what in terms of that and the pet peeves is that you are working harder and you're doing better. It's like if I work out, I don't really like my trainer when she's telling me to pick up the 4th set.
Sorry,
I don't
trainer.
want to, Blanca. Okay? I don't want to punch anymore, Jerry. Like, I don't want to do that anymore. But they know it's when you're tired at that moment.
That's
That's
when
when
you
it
give
means
up
the
then,
most.
you'll give up in any moment.
Exactly. And I think this is what's been the
Definitely.
learning moment in creating content. It's because people are like, oh, you're an influencer. I don't think
No,
I am.
I'm not here to, you don't sell product.
No.
Yeah.
You're actually building a
create-
community of people, you're creatives.
Right. We create content, and I think you guys, you guys have been so instrumental. That's why you guys get the content that you get now. You get us. There's been times where we sit down and Nick is like, you need to do content that's more like you. But who are we? I don't know who we are. What do we do? And that's how we've been able, it's taken how long have we been with
2
you guys?
years, I'd say it's taken.
It's actually
2.5?
I was going to say 2.5. Yeah,
2.5
over
years
2.
we've been with you guys, and it's taken 2.5 years to change and learn and
To make
adapt.
just know
consistent
who we are
habits.
real.
Consistent habits and be ourselves.
Yeah, like one of the most proud things we've learned from you, for me, is that when brands were saying they didn't know what to do with us,
Yeah.
now they're like, we want it in their type of content.
Yeah.
That's it.
The challenge.
That's it.
It was like the challenge was how do we flip that on its head and rectify it? And I think Nick's whole ethos has been around like at some point people will be coming to you and being, how can we fit our brand into this
That's
content
crazy.
versus we don't know how to do that.
Crazy. Even we done an advert, yeah? We sent them. The advert was for adverts, for like what the advert world is, perfect. They sent it back and said, no, this doesn't film like their natural content. Can they reshoot it? I said, what? Oh, so you want us to do it our way?
You want us.
You want us to do it
Yeah.
our way? So it's just, it's been so wonderful being on this journey with you guys. You guys being on this journey with us, taking a chance on us,
It's
because you
always
really
been
did.
an honour, really has.
Yeah, honestly,
It's been a pleasure.
I love you
I mean,
guys
it is
so
a
much.
pleasure. We're not like, it's
no.
like, this is it now.
No.
We've had a good time.
No.
It's done.
Like it's you guys really have taken a chance on us, and you've invested a lot of time in us.
100%. Your expertise in this area is
Absolutely.
Only the start as well. 2.5 years is no time.
100%.
2.5 years later, where will we be? We might be sat on some kind of. You might be sat on a TV show in LA.
Hey, we've got a whole podcast.
Listen,
You've got a whole
I'm telling
podcast.
you, this was a dream.
Oh, and
This
look
was
now,
a dream. Like, I didn't think it would happen.
and again, it's the consistency.
Yeah.
You know, like you've come back now and you're like, this is what we want to do. We've realized that we enjoy doing this. Like your audience is loving watching. So the growth of this is going to be special. I'm sure of that.
I think
It's
it's
gonna be
insane that
amazing.
this is like we're all here because of small decisions that each of us have made.
absolutely.
Yeah, Jess could have gone one way. She's like, why is
Yeah,
this brother
true.
trying to apply
Yeah.
for an assistant role?
It's
Get the
true.
hell out.
Or I could have been like, that could have been it. I could have sat in the house and been like, I'm done with talent management.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it anymore.
And it was
Luckily, I
done.
love it. So
Could have not gone to the
wasn't gonna
TikTok event.
happen.
If you weren't there, they might not
Yeah.
buy this.
Yeah,
so
the TikTok
we might
event
miss-
really was like a key,
that
a
day changed
pivotal
our life.
moment, really.
Yeah. It's crazy that one person's destiny and decision is connected to other people's.
Yeah, and
Like,
your
if you
end
didn't
goal
make that
in life
decision-
could be so different because
Yeah.
of one person's slightly different decision,
Absolutely.
whatever point in their life.
Mad.
Thank you for having us, guys.
Of course.
Before we finish up, what
Yeah,
would
yeah.
you say to someone who wants to start content creation and hasn't got management and don't really know what direction to go in right now?
My advice would be, it's difficult. If you want to do this through passion or you want to do it through building a business.
Yeah.
Because if you want to do it through passion, creativity, having a hobby, and you don't care where it leads, that what's stopping you? Like,
Yeah.
you know, take what it is that you're passionate about and make the best kind of content that you can around that passion and let what will be. I think what you've got to realize as well, like coming into this world now, is that you're opening yourself up to millions of eyeballs. So you've got to like not let the noise build around you and affect what it is that you want to do. So if you've got a mission, if you've got a vision, whether there's somebody that you knew from school negatively vibing in the comments or the post is not performing as well as you wanted it to, don't let those small things affect why you started doing it in the first place. I think it has to be built from passion. And if you want to do it from a business perspective, you've got to have a bit of Nick in you. You've got to be sitting and caring about, you have to be caring about the numbers and looking at data and thinking, why is this hitting and why is this not? And you've really got to dissect quite a lot of small bits of information to start building your brand and seeing growth. So I would say, yeah, decide what you want out of it. Why do you want to be a content creator? What is it that you want to achieve? Who do you want to inspire? Who is your like audience? Get to know them and build your journey around that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think you kind of nailed it. Like mine was like I'm tough love. Jess is definitely more love.
I lead with heart.
Bad cop.
Yeah,
100%.
for me, I think there's just a huge responsibility for everybody that's going online to do better than what we're currently doing.
Yeah.
I think that we've had all of the things that have inspired us, like our favorite actors, our favorite musicians back in the day. I'm very old school, so I watched all the old school films from Denzel Washington right through to Quentin directing films, right through to my favorite musicians are like Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu, like people that say and mean things and don't feel like they always have to create something new, but they just want to speak their mind and put that into music. So when we are creating content, I'm actually just taking the same teachings from them, which is like put your work and yourself into that piece of content and tell the best story you can. And if you want to go in there for a quick buck or for a quick brand deal, then you might get it, but it's not going to sustain it. And you might get used to that lifestyle, then not be able to revert back.
Yeah.
So for me, in everything, and something that I had to learn when I came to season 25 was that you always have to be a student of the industry and of the people that are around you. I came in here with a lot of ego, like, I'm going to smash this thing up. Yeah, like, I was ready. No, I'm telling you, I was like, I'm going to, oh man.
Nick was like, we need processes. We need to cut down this way of doing emails. We need to, and I was like, this industry will show you. That's just not how it works.
I just was very soft. It's like, yeah, sure, we can just try that.
I actually let him. I was like, yeah, cool, we can try that.
Why would you bad stuff? Go on.
Yeah. But you learn very quickly. So I think the reality is that I just realized even in no matter where you are and what you're doing, you always can learn something new.
Absolutely.
So don't be shy to look at other people and their content and then draw inspiration from it. I think it doesn't have to look, just because you have got inspiration from something doesn't mean that that is something that's changing your identity.
Got you.
And then often when you experience things you like and don't like, you'll find the thing that you actually are and the thing that you love the most, and you'll find your own niche. So, it's not about how many followers you have. It's not about how many views you get. It's all about how much better can I be at delivering the message that I'm trying to convey. And that's what I care about. That's why I study Jess so much, and I just watch how she handles conversations. Because in the whim, she can walk into a meeting or with like in a conference of 500 people, not prepped the night before and been like,
Hundreds.
I've got it.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
I've seen
100%.
it.
And me, I'm like, I need to get this run, bro. I'm going to say this quote. And
I think that's it. It's like, we all work differently.
You all work differently.
All of our minds are wired differently. But like anyone who is starting on this journey, I think be excited for the journey and your own self-development. Because at the heart of it, like you're starting to do something because you want to do it. 100%. And it doesn't have to be perfect right away.
100%.
You're going to perfect it and learn over a period of time. So like just, be comfortable sitting in the fact that you're going to look back at 2 years and go, oh my God, I'm cringing so hard. I hate the content. I didn't film it well. But like that's an exciting part of getting better. Has been like, that was my journey. And that's where I am. All the time
when I go onto my Facebook, those pictures need to come off.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, I feel like I'm not going to say this on camera because I know one of you people will try and find it. There are certain sites that I need to get the password to get rid of those things. But I know in my hearts of hearts that if ever I would get famous, cooked.
If I ever get famous,
is there
holding him to that.
There?
No.
Yeah,
this is it, the first of many podcasts.
100%.
100%.
You'll never see Nick again after this. I'm not even joking.
Never.
You actually will
not.
You actually blow out my face.
He actually did.
I would actually love that if we could keep him anonymous the whole way through.
Honestly, can you imagine?
That's so good.
So, guys, we are so grateful for having you on the podcast. This has been absolutely amazing.
Loved
it. Many gems that have been dropped. I don't know if you're a content creator. I mean, I wouldn't rush to try and get season 25 to follow you. Like, are you at a certain level? No, I'm joking.
She's basically like, keep them to myself.
Keep them
to myself.
They're hours. No, I'm joking.
If you are a content creator, you don't want producers dancing all up in the video. Come on with the S25.
Guys, goodbye. It was lovely. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you in next week's episode.
Boy, thanks for
Peace.